Hello everyone, and welcome back to Sovereign Thinking. My name is Michael, and today I will be reading part 10 from a book called The Law of Attraction by Michael Losier. Last time we were talking about attracting money in abundance. Today we will be talking about relationships and your vibration. If you are thinking that applying the law of attraction to relationships will be similar to how you attract money in abundance, then you would be right. There are a lot of similarities, as the principles are the same, but Michael Losier shares additional insights that can help you to understand how your relationships are affected by the law of attraction. So let's hear what he has to say. Have you noticed at times when you meet somebody that within seconds you are saying to yourself, I don't like their energy? At other times you meet someone and you can tell you're hitting it off with them within seconds because you catch yourself saying, I sure like their energy. These kinds of experiences show that you've already been picking up on other people's energies and vibes. If we were to measure your vibration on a scale of 1 to 100, 100 being a very high vibe and 1 being a very low vibe, where would your vibe be at? Imagine a radio dial showing station 0 to station 100. All the radio stations between 0 to 50 are negative talk radio, and all the stations from 50 to 100 are positive talk radio. Your vibes are similar to the vibes of radio frequencies. When you are feeling really good and everything is working out in your life, things come to you easily and everyone in your life is positive. We could say that your vibe is as high as a 98.5 on the radio dial. How can you tell when you are on a 98.5? Well, you can tell by how you feel. You can see by the diagram and by how you are feeling when your vibe is high, that it means that there is little to no negative vibration around you. When there is little to no negative vibration around you, then everything comes to you much quicker. You start attracting relationships that are of a similar vibration. And some of you may also notice that as you've been moving up the dial or raising your vibration, that you start attracting like-minded and like vibration people in all areas of your life. As you can see, Michael Losier explains the same principles that we have become familiar with in this law of attraction reading in our previous reads. I think that what makes this part so interesting is to understand that when you connect with someone and you get a vibe off of them, that you yourself are also emitting a vibe as well. Well, what do you want your vibe to feel like? This will be one of the questions that we will walk through on Friday's journal activity. But let's continue on, as Michael Losier describes how to handle a negative Nelly using the law of attraction. The distance between your vibration and someone else's vibration is equal to the amount of resistance or negativity you feel when you are with them. On the other hand, many of you may also be familiar with saying negativity breeds negativity. Most of us have people in our lives that aren't on station 98.5 at the same time when we are. Recall a time in your life when your vibration was high. You're having one great experience followed by another and you love everything in your life. Then your telephone rings. You look at the call display and it's somebody in your life that's at a much lower vibration than you. As a matter of fact, just seeing their name lowers your vibration. Let's call this person your negative Nelly. So some people may ask, how can I even attract a negative Nelly if I have such a high vibration? The answer is simple. You didn't necessarily attract them by choice. The negative Nelly in your life could be, for example, your partner, workmate, colleague, child, parent, or neighbor. Let's say, for example, that negative Nelly's vibration is consistently low on station 30.1, and your vibration is on 98.5. Looking at the radio station below, you can see the amount of distance between your vibration and negative Nelly's vibration. The amount of distance between your vibration and someone else's vibration is equal to the amount of resistance or negativity you feel when you are with them or talk to them. In the past, you may have said, hey, negative Nelly brings me down. The truth is, negative Nelly didn't bring you down. You lowered your dial or vibration to match theirs. How to hold your positive vibration. What can you do in the future to maintain your vibration at 98.5 when you are talking to people who are at a much lower vibration? Just like you can select a station or vibration on your car radio, you can also have a high vibration and stay there despite having a negative Nelly in your life. Here's how to do that. The next time your negative Nelly calls you and starts to talk about how sad their life is, or how they don't like their job, don't have enough money, or a satisfying relationship, you have two choices. Choice number one, you can buy into that conversation, which then lowers your vibration to match theirs. Or choice number two, when you hear them say what they don't want, you can simply ask them, so what do you want? Remember that as a negative Nelly goes from what they don't want to what they do want, their words change, and when their words change, their vibration changes, so they now offer a new higher vibration. As their vibration rises, it gets closer to matching yours, and the closer their vibration is to yours, the more harmonious your vibration becomes. Now, you understand that when you meet somebody and you hit it off with them, saying to yourself, did I ever click with them? Our chemistry was so good. You really mean that your vibrations are in harmony. When you meet somebody and before you even learn their name, you catch yourself saying, wow, I don't like their energy, they're not my type. It's an indicator that your vibrations are not in harmony. Your job is to look after your vibration and steer any conversations that you have with people to be more uplifting and positive. You do that by remembering to gently ask the question, so what do you want? Thus helping the other person achieve a more positive and therefore higher vibration. Attracting your ideal relationship. I'll use the word relationship here to indicate many kinds of relationships. Perhaps your ideal partner, business relationship, your relationship with your children, parents, neighbors, work colleagues, students, or even clients. Now we'll get started by using the 3-step formula for the law of attraction to learn how to attract your ideal relationship. Just a reminder, the contrast you've experienced in the past will be helpful for your future. Knowing what you didn't like about a past partner or a past date is very useful to you. You can use this information to help you get clarity about the kind of partner you do want. For example, if you don't want someone who works too much, what do you want? If you don't want someone who is not adventurous, so what do you want? If you don't want someone who is not interested in dancing, who's not romantic or not a good listener, etc., what do you want? Understanding what you don't want will help you generate more clarity about what you do want, and your clarity becomes your new, clear desire. The easiest way to do this is to say to yourself, so what do I want? It sounds simple, and it is. When you change your observation from what you don't want to what you do want, the vibration changes. Notice too how you feel when you get clear about something. It feels good when we say, oh, that's exactly what I'd like. This new clarity has now become your desire, and that is the first step to manifesting your ideal relationship. Although I think that you cannot change people or their attitudes towards anything, I do think that Michael Losier presents a pretty powerful tool when it comes to helping someone else rise their vibration. Please note that it is not your responsibility to raise someone else's vibration. Your responsibility is to manage your own vibes and to only be aware of someone else's vibe. Michael Losier's tool, which is simply to ask, so what do you want, is indeed a great, gentle tool to use if you find yourself with someone who is negative at that moment. I also want to introduce you to the idea that if you put your energy into something or someone and it doesn't return the energy back in a positive way, then you should reevaluate the situation. You can't force someone to raise their vibes. If you try to help them out by using Michael Losier's question tool, and they still want to stay in the negative space and vibes, then just leave it be, or perhaps even consider removing yourself from their presence if you feel that it's necessary. I hate to be vague with that kind of advice, but every situation is different and calls for a different course of action. Just trust your intuition and you'll make the right choice. But yeah, if something isn't giving you good vibes back after putting some positive energy into it, then it's a sign that something is off. let's continue. If you're not truly offering a vibration of the way you want it to be, then the law of attraction cannot respond to it. In other words, you're saying that you want this kind of person, but you're sending out a vibe that is different than your desire. One way to check what vibration you are sending out is to observe what you are receiving in your life. It's always a perfect match to whatever you are offering vibrationally. Most people, while in the process of attracting their ideal relationship, will often spend time noticing that they have not been attracting exactly what they want. That noticing is causing them to send out a vibration of lack, which is a negative vibration. So stop observing what you are not attracting, and you'll stop giving it attention, energy, and focus. Your job is to look for the parts of a relationship or the characteristics of a date that are matching your desire list and give those your attention instead. Your vibration will change and the law of attraction will bring you more of the same. Tips for attracting your ideal relationship. Tip number 1. Don't tell anyone your date was a flop. So don't email your friends about it, don't talk about it with your girlfriends, don't write about it in your journal. Remember that the law of attraction doesn't know if you're remembering something, complaining about it, or worrying about it. The law of attraction will simply bring you more of whatever it is you are focusing on. Tip number 2. Build your contrast list. So come home from your date and build a list of all the things that you didn't like about your dating experience and convert each item of contrast on your list into another thing that you clearly do want. Tip number 3. Move on if it doesn't feel right. If it didn't feel good on the first date, usually it doesn't get better, so simply move on to the next date, adding to your clarity list each time. Tip number 4. Tell why it matches. Spend time talking about it, writing about it, and daydreaming about what is matching. Give what you like more attention, energy, and focus. So wrapping up relationships and your vibration, here's what we covered in this section. So at every moment you are sending out a vibration, either positive or negative. When your vibration is high, someone else's is lower than yours, you feel resistance or a negative vibration. To help maintain a high vibration when dealing with others who have a lower vibration, ask them, so what do you want? When they are complaining or talking about what they don't want. Use the deliberate attraction process to attract your ideal relationship. And then the 4 tips for attracting your ideal relationship is, don't tell anyone that your date was a flop, build a contrast list, move on if it doesn't feel right, and tell why it matches. Alrighty, so I think that there is a slight contradiction with the first 2 tips of attracting your ideal relationship. So according to Michael Losier, it's not okay to talk to someone about a bad date, but it is okay to write it down as a contrast statement. Well, he did technically say to also convert it into a desire statement. My own opinion on this is that you can absolutely share with someone when you've had a bad date. But like Michael Losier said in the beginning of the book, the idea behind contrast statements is to use what you don't want to call in what you do want and to gain clarity on what you do want. So what I mean is that everyone needs to vent at one point or another. It's just human nature. Once you're done your venting, you can switch your vibes up and discuss it with that friend what you are actually looking for in a relationship. That's where I think that the magic of the law of attraction is that once you finish validating what you don't want, you can then switch it up and switch into a more positive vibe to actually call in what you do want in a relationship. This is all that Michael Losier has written about using the law of attraction for relationships, and that is where we are going to end it today. At this time, we have been working on the 3 steps of deliberate attraction, transmuting negativity, and applying it to all areas of our life, including money and relationships. The same formula pretty much can be applied to everything in your life, according to Michael Losier's book. And I like that, because it keeps it simple for me. This Friday's guided journal exercise will guide you on understanding how you feel about money. Money and relationships are key areas in everyone's life, so even if you aren't able to transmute any limiting self-beliefs, you'll at least be aware of the inner work that you still have yet to do. And like I always say, with awareness comes the power to change it. And that's what we're going to be focusing on this Friday's journal exercises. Also, we will be focusing on money specifically, because what I want to do is I really want us to take our time next week to focus on relationships after we finish reading Michael Losier's book. As always, please just take what vibes with you, leave what doesn't, and also just take it one day at a time. I want to thank you again for listening, and I hope you have a wonderful day.